coincide with those of our ownership, management, or staff.
Welcome to Tech Talk 2020 with Sanjay Parker. I'm your humble tech host, Sanjay Parker, and I'm here with Mike Carswell. We're here to talk to you about all things technology related for your home, your business, and your life. We've got a cool show today, and we're going to be talking about bots.
It's a cool show because autumn just started today. This is the first day of fall, officially. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Tech Talk 2020. Mike Carswell here with Sanjay Parker. We're going to talk about technology that will enlighten your life, and we are going to get smarter together here on WINT Radio 101.5 FM, 1330 AM, and also on WINTradio.com. You can hear us. So, real quickly, before Sanjay jumps in, if you're listening and you'd like to tweet at us, hit us up on our Twitter handle, which is also Tech Talk 2020, or speak to us via Facebook at Tech Talk 2020.
We'd welcome your questions and comments. So, Mike, there was a show a long time ago that you probably were familiar with.
What do you mean a long time ago? You always say throw me in a long time ago.
I think it was just when they went to color TV, and they talked about the future in this show. And
yes.
You know, now it's the past, but back then it was the future, and it was called the Jetsons. Do you remember that show?
Here's George Jetson, Jane, his wife. Yes, his boy Elroy, daughter Judy. Oh man, I'm killing it. The dog was Astro.
You got it.
And the robot maid was Rosie. So
that's
yes,
kind of
I
scary.
actually owned a television set before they were black and white. I'm sorry, before they were color.
I was gonna say, was it just black? Before, or was it just white?
No. We actually
then we got two colors.
Stop it. In our living room, we had a black and white television when I was a younger guy.
Yeah.
We did switch over to color at some point, and I'm not going to tell you what year that was because I don't want to discriminate myself.
You know, black and white is a misnomer for television. It was actually grayscale.
A lot of grays. Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. So when you think back to that show, they had a lot of innovation and automation there. Tell me, do you remember what was the greatest thing?
What do you mean innovation?
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, they imagined the future.
Okay,
That's part of the role of innovation, right? If you don't like what's going to happen in the future, create it, right? Or change it. Something like that.
Draw a picture of it. So what's going on? What are you asking me again?
So think about all the cool things on that show. What were some of the things that you liked?
Well, the cars that flew, I guess they weren't cars, were they? What do you call those things? They had a funky sound to themselves, too. It was
that was kind of cool.
But so cars that flew, and then, of course, they had a maid to clean up. You know, personally, I'm not a pig. I don't know about you, buddy. But I don't need a maid. But Rosie was there, and I think they walked the dog on a treadmill, which was kind of interesting, too. Poor dog.
Right.
Put a picture in front of him, and you run the dog, makes him think he's outside.
So that show was about automation and robots and bots. Right. You remember Rosie the robot?
Yeah, Spacely Sprockets was
that was his boss, right?
No, Mr. Spacely. It's Spacely Sprockets.
Right, right.
Whatever a sprocket is.
Yeah, and you know, they had things like remember the thing where they could punch in the little food orders and it would come out fully cooked, delicious, nutritious food.
I vaguely remember that.
That was called the Foodoraka cycle. I had to look that one up.
Nice. I'm impressed.
Yeah, the Foodoraka cycle is actually something that exists today in Japan, where you go to McDonald's, kind of order what you want, and boom, it comes right out. It's almost humanless. The only part that's a human is the person behind the scenes cooking, getting that stuff ready.
So there's no exchange of cash, I'm assuming here.
It is, but it's It's plastic currency, right?
Okay. Plastic currency and or some other sort of
digital
payment.
Currency. Yeah.
Digital.
Definitely no. I don't think they're taking any cash or no change, even though vending machines, take cash and give you change all day long, so that wouldn't be such a hard thing to solve. We also had the automatic showers. Remember, you walked in, it recognized you.
Oh, yeah.
Had the right temperature. It's all about home automation. And Rosie the robot was a cleaning up bot. Today we have Roomba, right, to do that. We have Roomba.
Roomba takes care of the floor.
A whole bunch of
also,
other
the
things.
cats have an opportunity to ride on Roomba. I don't know how many YouTube videos I've seen with a cat riding around on a Roomba.
Yeah, I saw LeBron and Ellen trying to make paper wadded up paper shots into a basket.
Yes, I saw that
on
too.
Ellen. That was kind of interesting.
What was that? Automated? Was the basket moving?
Well, so because they were on top of Roombas, and both Roombas were on a table, and they sensed each other and the edges to keep moving around.
I missed that episode. I did see it on YouTube though.
It was kind of interesting. But today we have bots, and traditionally we thought of robots and humanoids and all of this stuff. But today, when people say the bots are coming, It's actually true that the bots are already here, and we've got bots in our everyday life. There's tons of different kinds of bots. So we've got chat bots. I'll talk a lot about that.
Yes.
There's crawlers, things that go out from Google to crawl websites, index the content, get a feel and understanding of what that site's about. We've got transactional bots where you can actually go in and let's say you order something like we talked about in Japan, or even going around and, for example, Lowe's has something called the Lowbot that they're going to release in San Francisco Bay Area, where you can actually ask it basic questions. It'll help you find things, and pretty amazing stuff.
Awesome.
We have informational bots where you can go and there's hotels. And Tokyo is going to be an amazing place for the Olympics in 2020. We talked about this on a previous show. And they're going to have bots at hotels to help you, check in, check out, do, basic questions. We have art bots that create art digitally and in real life, where they create paintings. They also create sculptures. You think about 3D printing. That's additive synthesis. You can do subtractive as well, and take a big block of wood and come out with something using a...
How many more bots you got?
An algorithm.
You're botting me up here.
We got game bots where they can play against you as an adversary. That's happened, for quite some time. You're playing the computer. That's a bot, right?
Yes.
We've done that for a long time. So the definition of bot is really something that is designed to... today, they're transactional bots, so they're designed to follow scripts, right? They don't have quite yet artificial intelligence bots where they're really thinking. They're very scripted. So bots are like service animals, and I heard this from a guy named John Cifuentes, and he's got a whole bunch of research around bots. He does venture capital research and investments, and he said bots are like good service animals. They do things and solve problems for humans that simply wouldn't be effective or as scalable or as cheap as having a human do it. For example, dogs that sniff for bombs or sniff for drugs or help find people lost in the woods. You just can't beat that. It's a really good way to do it. It's cheap. It's effective. It's a dog. You're not going to compete with a dog as a human, right? Bots are kind of like that. They do good things for us, and they can help us with the basic low-level things that we need help with today.
Well, you didn't see that movie by Will Smith, I Am Robot. That's kind of scaring me here, man. Sanjay, it sounds like you're calling them bots now. I'm sure that's short for robot, and the term bot itself, I'm sure it has some origins that we can discuss. But it sounds as if, again, we're removing the human element and allowing bots to do administrivia for us. That's you like that?
Yeah, very good, very good.
We're getting smarter together over here, folks.
Well, I mean, that's the idea, right? So I just read a study a couple of weeks ago. I talked about human productivity improvements. So when the computer came out in the 80s, the personal computer, we actually had a significant amount of productivity improvement. Okay. And we're able to do more in the same day, right? We can do our own desktop publishing. We can do our own word processing, editing. We can print things up once correctly instead of typing it and doing the little correctomatic, whatever that was. We had some productivity improvements.
It was called whiteout.
Yeah, and then we had email and the internet, and we could share files and collaborate, and we had all that. But in the past few years, we really haven't seen any productivity increase. Now, part of that is because we're distracted, at work by the internet, by things that are going on. We're humans, so we're socially connected. So there's, instead of the water cooler down the hall, I've got thousands of water coolers available to me. On Facebook, social forums, discussion groups.
So I think actually, though, as we continue to add technology to our lives, I do think that there's a danger of people becoming less and less personable. So, I mean, I know we're going to talk technology tonight all day long, but the human element for me still is a part of things. One other quick little side to attach to that is, why would a child learn cursive writing anymore? I mean, why would they? It's not going to be practical. The only thing they'll use it for is their signature. And oftentimes signatures these days are even electronic. So I hear people, proponents, and as well as folks that are totally down with getting rid of cursive writing. I mean, do your children, you've got younger guys, have they learned cursive writing?
Yeah, my son just showed me cursive writing he did today in third grade. Pretty impressive. Looks pretty good. For me, if I step away from technology, cursive writing is symbolism at its finest. You want all of these characters just standing next to each other, not congregating, not being continuous, not holding hands, not being really human. Or do you want a beautiful cursive prose where all of these characters just connect? They form bigger words and bigger things that are bigger than they are, Mike.
Sure.
Why would you stop that?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I think that's...
well, there's a push to stop it because of the practicality piece, and there's talk of getting rid of algebra. Well, we'll save that for another show.
Yeah, and actually, if I want to go farther ahead, and I agree with you, cursive is not as relevant except for signing documents, but
Sure.
that'll change as well. What we really have is even keyboards, right? That is not a natural input device. It was something that helped us go from the typewriter to data entry electronically. But it's not something that you'll see in the future as something realistic, right? It's a very poor input device. And as we talk today about bots, we're going to talk about natural language interfaces, right? When these devices such as Siri and Cortana and everything that you get, they become so good at understanding you, why would you ever need to type into anything? It's just a silly way.
Why would you even know how to spell? That's the danger sometimes, too, from a vocabulary standpoint. And just the reading, writing, arithmetic, the basic things that were taught back when I was in grade school. I'm an advocate of sometimes of the basics that we still have to have, and it's assumptive that kids today know them. But sometimes I'm finding out that kids don't even know how to fill an application properly or all those pieces. They need to go through some of those basic exercises.
Totally. I remember when the calculator was getting popular and people were railing against that. Like, oh, look, nobody needs to learn how to do math and division. This is going to make everybody very ignorant. And so we did find ways and reasons to actually still,
Can't you take your calculator now when you're taking the SAT or the ACT? Can't you take it? I believe you can. Somebody text us or hit us up on the Facebook or Twitter. I'm not sure, but I thought you could take a computer, a scientific calculator to take the major tests now.
Yeah, I wonder. That'll be interesting. I think it's for some of those things.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you talk about bots, and we took away the robots,
calculator's
right?
a robot
because it's a bot.
Okay, a bot.
Well, it's a pre-programmed set of instructions and a bunch of formulas. I don't know. It's very nascent.
That's a stretch.
What we'll say is robots are things where you can imagine a body and a set of sensors and some CPU to allow it to do some processing. But we have something called Moravec's paradox, Moravec. It's a great thing to look up. And what we found in the field of artificial intelligence, of bots and computing, is that high-level reasoning requires very little computation. So I can create a chatbot that will trick me into thinking it's a human. I can create something that will do some low-level legal filings for me, or low-level document writing. They'll write articles and research papers. These computers will for you. But it's very hard to do low-level sensory motor skills, things that a baby learns in its first year, how to move its head and how to move its arms. And in fact, in Japan, they had, I think it was Honda that had this great, they have a whole bunch of robots that they're selling for the home, and they've done this for dozens of years. And one of them, I think it was 10 years ago, they had a big demo and they wanted it to walk up the stairs, and walked halfway up and fell down and broke its knees and everything. It's just very hard to get a robot to do physical things that require coordination, like understanding where it's at, versus high-level reasoning. We can do that all day long with technology today.
But if you saw the Will Smith movie, man, they're coming. They're going to do my laundry for me. They're going to iron my clothes.
Right.
They're going
to do the basic things now. They're going to do all that.
Drop kick me in the head.
But think about this, Mike. It's much easier to program the brain and thinking than it is the body and moving.
What a gift we have to be so talented with our bodies that we have.
Yeah.
So let's talk more about talented body positions and stuff when we get back after the break here. You are listening to Tech Talk 2020 here on 1330 AM and WINTradio.com and 101.5 FM. There's probably a commercial coming up about 101.5 FM, and they should mention us in that commercial, don't you think?
I think they'd get sick of us.
See you after the break.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank a veteran.
Need a ride? Hop on. We'll drive. Lake Trend can take you to medical appointments, shopping, work, or college. We travel all over Lake County with many specialized services. Lake Trend can get you around with door-to-door dial-a-ride, local bus routes, and commuter service to Cleveland. Riding Lake Trend gets you where you need to go and saves you money, too. Check us out at laketrend.com or call 1-888-LAKE-TREN. Join the 700,000 riders Lake Trend proudly served last year. Lake Trend. Need a lift? Hop on. We'll drive.
WINT is now on 101.5 FM. Louder, cleaner, bigger, and better. WINT is now on 101.5 FM. Nighttime, daytime, anytime. WINT is now on 101.5 FM. Hannity, Ingram, Ramsey, and Lash. WINT is now on 101.5 FM. WINT 101.5 FM.
Oompa! It's Oktoberfest at Eldorado's Prescal Downs and Casino on Saturday, September 24th, beginning at 1 p.m. on the outdoor patio. German-themed food, beer, entertainment, and contests from 1 to 8 p.m., plus beer sampling from 2 to 4 p.m. Ed Roddick 1 to 3, Terrell Tones 3:30 to 5, Jack Taddy 6:30 to 8. Oktoberfest brought to you by Sam Adams and Glenwood Beer. Saturday, September 24th at 1 p.m. at Eldorado's Prescal Downs Casino. I-90 exit 27 in Erie, PA. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Pat O'Brien Chevrolet is your commercial truck headquarters. We have dump trucks, chassis cabs, pickups, cargo vans, flatbeds, every kind of truck for every kind of job. If you're a business owner looking for a truck, we got them. Come get them at Pat O'Brien Chevrolet.
Welcome back to Tech Talk 2020 with Sanjay Parker. I am your host, Sanjay Parker, and we are here with Mike Carswell. Today we're talking about bots. And right before the break, we talked about some exciting things around Moravec's paradox, which said, tell us, Mike.
Oh, man, I didn't type that in.
So
I was working on it. Tell us again.
It's really hard to use robots and program them to understand low-level sensory motor skills, like what a baby would do in its first year, versus high-level cognitive functioning. So we can program a computer to reason and to think and to be scripted in that way and actually learn from itself much better than we can do the physical piece. So now we've moved to the term bots instead of robots to say, look, these bots can be any kind of bots, robots, chat bots, game bots, companion bots, whatever we want. It's a bot because it's something that we've created.
So that low-level skill set that I possess, being able to do the cha-cha and to be able to do the Macarena, a robot can't do that, can they?
Not very convincingly today, no. In fact, it's probably not going to happen for a while.
Everybody can do the Macarena, can't they? But the robot can't. That's interesting.
So if you look at where we're at today, there's 4 different phases of digital eras. And one of the great research bodies out there is this company called Crowd Companies Council. Great guy who runs it, Jeremiah O. Wang, and he's done a lot of research in this space. And what he says is in the mid-'90s, we had something called the internet era. That was the first digital era. Started communicating online, and we actually were connecting at that point.
You've got mail.
Yeah. Then you had the social media age in the mid-2000s, where now people are just more than connecting, they're collaborating, they're commenting, they're socializing in the social media
interacting.
age.
I mean, there was a young lady today who had a phone issue, and I was able to make a suggestion to her, one of our sponsors, to help her with her phone problem. So, there's a two-way street going on there, a lot more interaction.
Very nice, very nice. And then now we're in the collaborative economy age where municipalities, companies, people are coming together to solve problems, right? You've got Kickstarter helping people fund new ideas. You've got GoFundMe accounts helping people get over life events and challenges where they need money. You've got people loaning money to each other. So we're in that collaborative economy age. But what he says is, this Crowd Companies Council says, is we're now going to come into this emerging autonomous world age. And we talked about autonomous vehicles last week and before on our show. And really, autonomous means there's some kind of bot, right? And something that's designed to do things on our behalf. We've already got personal assistants today, like Siri. Siri, set up a meeting for me tomorrow at 2:30 with Mike Carswell, right? We can do that. We've got Amazon Echo in our homes to play our playlist, turn on our lights, schedule things, remind us of things. These are personal assistants that we have. they work autonomously, right? Meaning they can go ahead and schedule that without me actually entering it in. I just tell them to do it. When they learn from machine learning, then they'll go ahead and say, look, it sounds like you guys are at church every Sunday from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. I'm going to turn down your thermostat during those 2 hours without you asking, because I know you're not going to be at home and I don't want to waste electricity or gas. And then I'll turn it back up right before you get back.
Yeah, so we talked about earlier, one of our shows, how the home will become more and more I don't want to call it user-friendly, but just the activities and things that we have to do to maintain a normal lifestyle continually will be taken over by machines. La machine.
Well, there's always hurdles along the way. And so a few months ago, Microsoft had a bot that was kind of funny. They put it out there and they said, look, we're going to make this bot very basic, but we're going to let the crowd feed it things. So anybody came and talked to that bot. It learned their style of language. It developed its own lexicon, around what people are saying. It's vernacular around the words of the day. And then it would respond back to people by learning all of that. So quickly, within a couple of months, we learned that the crowd is not very friendly. They're racist. They spewed vitriol, and the Microsoft bot was spewing out the same racist comments and the same bad language, and we made that a bad bot.
Kind of like a parrot.
Yeah. So, there are some safeguards along the way, but that was a great learning experience, right? Remember the old adage when computers were created, garbage in, garbage out. I mean, we're still going to have stuff like this.
Oh, that's a human transition type thing as well. I've always speak well of, if you speak well of others, it'll come back to you, 100-fold, I believe. And again, garbage in yourself and garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. So you can't sit around and eat garbage all day and expect good things to come out of it. So that's a clear example of what can happen if you do such things.
Yeah. So
you kids out there, you listen to Uncle Mike.
It's a good lesson learned. So Facebook also, a few months ago, they released a bot API and a developer's kit so that you can use Facebook chat bots. Now, at first that sounds, okay, well, look, I talk to my friends on Facebook. Why would I want to talk to a chat bot, right? What is that going to do? So they started off with some cute little things like, hey, ask questions about Facebook and learn, about how to do certain things. So you type in, how do I update my profile picture? And it would spit back within a second, a link to a tutorial on how to do that. And then people started doing some cool things. There's this little cat that's a weather cat, and you can ask the cat questions about the weather. You can say, hey,
Weather cat.
Do I need a raincoat tomorrow? And the weather cat will come back and say, no, it's not going to rain in your area, blah, blah, blah. Interesting thing about Facebook chatbots is Facebook knows all about you to begin with. So that information passes over to the chatbot.
So now the cat knows.
Cat knows. Now, think about companies like this, though. This is brilliant for Facebook. They're going to take a cut of billions of dollars of commercial e-commerce transactions in the future. Here's an example. Sephora, the makeup company, they have a chat bot that right now you can say, look, I have an oily skin, I'm in my 30s, I'm Asian, what products do you recommend? It'll come back and recommend products. Today that links out to Sephora's site and you do those transactions there. At some point you'll never have to leave Facebook once you put your payment info in.
But wait a minute, won't CoverGirl and All-May be all hacked off if they don't have that information?
All of them are going to do that. So you're going to have billions of dollars of commerce. It's all going to be through there, right? You're going to be talking to this bot. Frankly, the bot's going to be pretty fast. You know how you ever get on a chat for help or support and you're typing things in and you're waiting and waiting. You're like, hello, hello. Then you see the other person typing, I'm sorry, I am dealing with other customers right now. I will get to you. And then they ask you to
but you're
restate the
typing with
question.
an accent, Sanjay?
Yeah, I would take a bot all day long with that. So, there's some, it affords us a better experience as consumers. It affords the companies a larger impact and perhaps a quicker ticket to revenue for them. And it also is cheap for them. 24 hours, these bots, I always say, until they get a union, they're going to be very, very cheap.
All I know is that there's been times from a customer service perspective that I've been thrown into a chat box with a Time Warner or you pick a company. And it's been okay, a good experience. I still like to talk to a person, but I've found there's been several times where I've used the automated option and it's been okay. Whether there's a person on the other end or not, I don't think it really matters. unless you ask him something. You probably should throw in a question. So what do you think the Browns' chances are this year? I'm sure a bot wouldn't know that. Speaking of that,
I think a bot would just say 0, and it'd be right.
Can we replace some injured players or players that are suspended or whatever with robots? One day that's coming, I hope.
Well, you know that our Browns leadership is now using analytics, right, and algorithms to let's see how that pans out. I do believe in that. I just don't know if this group will do it properly, but we'll see.
Sorry about the sidetrack.
Yeah, no, not a problem. So, that kind of, typing in and getting these responses and getting it quickly. When you think about it, you're talking to a customer service rep. Let's say Time Warner, like you said, and perhaps they charge you a late fee on your payment, but you already paid it and you have the proof, whatever it is, or perhaps your service is down and you're mad. It's been down for 2 days and you want a credit. You would think you need a human to make that call, but you don't, because a human does the same. They'll look at your credit history, your account history. If you've never been late before, they'll say, yep, it's an anomaly. We'll credit you. If you say you've had an outage for 3 days, they'll offer you whatever, 10%, 20%. That can be programmed easily and much more effectively than having a human go to their supervisor and try to make those decisions. We've got a lot of opportunities here for efficiency. So why are you laughing? This is so important. My co-host needs to get into a serious mode.
If I say to the bot, let me speak to your supervisor, that ought to be an awesome moment.
Well, these bots are going to be on what they call bot farms, right? So it's going to be a bunch of bots working together. And yes, you will get a bot supervisor with a separate script that will be able to solve your problem. Sounds silly, but this is how it works. Now, Google today released something called Aloe. Have you heard of Aloe?
Just aloe vera. I kind of rub it on my skin.
So ALLO, it's their new intelligent chat application. So
Aloe. So I don't have to use OK Google anymore?
Right. Well, this is the Facebook Messenger and the Snapchat and the WhatsApp killer that they're positioning. And so this is smart because it uses artificial intelligence and machine learning. So let's say we're both on this Aloe app and you text me, Mike, like you do every day. You say, good morning, sunshine. How was your day? And I always reply, I'm still sleeping. Well, it would learn that.
Yes.
And then the next time you ask me that in the morning, it would automatically reply for me and say, I'm still sleeping.
Yeah, but you won't know that I sent the message,
I'll see it all. I'll see it all. I'll see that history. It'll also, if you send me a picture of you as a baby, which you always do, instead of me just saying, oh, that's cute, it'll automatically know that's a picture of a baby and reply back or suggest, hey, oh, that's cute, or oh, adorable. And
what an ugly baby.
I pick one.
I was kind of shocked.
If it suggests that to somebody who uses it for a while, then you're a very mean person. If it actually says that's what you should be saying, it'll learn about you from you and your responses.
Wow. So people can learn about us from what we post on Facebook.
So think about that. Oh, yeah. My goodness. That's the understatement of the century, I think. But, imagine that bot replying back to your friends, replying back. It's pretty amazing. And then from a business perspective, these bot farms are getting together. Anything that's repeatable, transaction-based, businesses are creating something called RPA, which is robotic process automation. They can make whole big processes and transactions and call centers by using these drag-and-drop little applications that create these bots and their algorithms and intelligence and deploy it. And this stuff will eat it up and spit it out and process it all day long.
Less thinking for the all of us.
So we get to think on higher level tasks. Mike, ask yourself this every morning. What is my best and highest purpose for me today?
Do I have to answer right now?
No.
I'll think
about it every morning.
I will.
Any of the low-level stuff, a bot will eventually take away for you.
Can't wait to have a bot fix my scrambled eggs for me. Right now, that's Mrs. Carswell. So, all righty. Well, listen, guys, we thank you so much for listening to Tech Talk 2020 this evening. We'll be back next week with more dazzling information to help you get through your technical life as you adjust here, right, Sanjay? We're all adjusting to the change.
I like the word dazzle.
Dazzling, yeah. 101.5 FM, that's where we are at Integrity Radio, 1330 AM and WINTradio.com. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next week.
Bye.